The third phase wasn't declared with words. It began with footsteps. In the desolate valley of the Ressy's border, a place where once hundreds of thousands of soldiers clashed, leaving behind only the remnants of armies in ash, Ainz himself descended. No army, no entourage. Just him. Yet his presence alone shattered reality. Soldiers fell to their knees. Horses screamed and fled. The wind stopped. Trees wilted. It was as if the world recognized its master and begged for mercy. The Allied commanders watched from afar, trembling. Some called it a bluff. Others cried out, calling him a demon, a god, a curse incarnate. But one thing was certain. He had come to end the war. Ainz raised his hand and with a single spell, grasp hard, he executed a dozen war generals through magical barriers. Instant, clean, silent. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He walked. Each step forward meant another outpost fell. Another resistance collapsed. Entire battle formations disbanded in panic. It wasn't a battle anymore. It was an exorcism. Overlooking the carnage from a distant spire, Albedo watched with a smile. He wants the world to remember this day, she whispered. Not for the blood, but for the fear. Ainz never spoke. He didn't need to. His silence was louder than thunder. When he pointed at the horizon, lightning fell and the earth cracked. Thousands died without understanding how. The message was clear. This war is over when I say it is. Yet, in the heart of the chaos, a single figure remained defiant. King Pirano, atop his war elephant, Ludwig roared in anger and grief. His family, his men, his kingdom, all were being sacrificed to this tyrant from the great tomb. But as he watched Ainz advance, a chill went down his spine. For Pirano knew, none of his men could stop that undead sorcerer. So he charged forward, not because he could win, but because he couldn't surrender. Not while he lived. Ainz halted before the charging horde, a single warrior against an army. And with a gesture, he summoned forth a wall of pure magic might. It slammed into the elephants, shattering their ranks. But Pirano pressed on, sword raised, reaching Ainz. And there, beneath the shadow of death, their blades met. Sparks flew as king clashed against sorcerer. Steel sang against bone, magic crackled. And in that instant, a new resolve ignited within the king. He remembered his people, his homeland, the fallen warriors who gave their lives for the kingdom. With a roar, he fought as if he were 10 men. And though Ainz was unfazed, amusement flickered in his eye sockets. Finally, a worthy opponent. But soon, even Pirano's valiant efforts began to falter. His strength ebbed, his vision blurred. For Ainz, though amused, had grown bored. This game had become too easy. So, with a sigh, Ainz unleashed the full measure of his power. Spells blazed forth. Reality warped. The very essence of magic roared. And Pirano, though valiant, could only watch in awe and terror as his world was consumed by the might of the Sorcerer King. When it ended, silence fell. The dust settled. The only sound was the soft thud of a cooling blade. King Pirano slid to his knees, his sword clattering away. His armor was shattered, his body bruised, his spirit broken. But as he looked up at Ainz, there was no hatred, only sorrow and acceptance. Ainz offered him a hand, an olive branch. "It's over," he said, his voice echoing with the finality of a tomb. "You can end this king's life right now," Pirano rasped, spitting out blood and dirt. "Your victory is complete. What more could you want?" Ainz stared back, his eye sockets seeming to pierce the king's soul. "I want a kingdom free from fear, where my people can live without the threat of war." He leaned closer. "Will you give me that, Pirano?" In the eerie silence, the king made his choice. He grasped Ainz's hand, surrendering not just himself, but his entire kingdom. As the last rays of sunlight bled across the horizon, casting long shadows of the undead and the dying, the Sorcerer King claimed the throne. A new era was dawning, forged in fear, tempered in blood, and it would change Nazarick and the world forever.